Is this the worst or the best job in Tudor England? So from the 14th to 17th centuries, there is a keeper of the heads. And there are perks with this job, guys. You work directly from the crown and you even get your own cottage. They lived in a gatehouse on London Bridge because that is where all the heads were mounted. Now, it was his responsibility to take care of the heads, so heads would be prepared by parboiling and covering them in tar to help preserve them. And being a keeper actually wasn't easy because people were always trying to steal them. In 1745, a Jacobite officer called Francis Townley, you can see him up the top there, he's one of the heads, he was hanged, drawn and quartered. Now, his head was ditched in Pike and spiked on Temple Bar, but it was stolen and it was kept secretly in the Townleys' home for 200 years. It was originally behind the panelling in the family chapel and then in a basket in a sideboard, before eventually being sent in a hat box to a bank in Trafalgar Square. In 1945, it finally found its way to the family vault. Now, robberies were taken extremely seriously, which is why we have a keeper of the heads. Now, heads are political objects, which are there to incite fear. When two Jacobite heads disappeared in 1754 from the gates of York, the Lord Mayor climbed the walls himself to investigate. The government offered a reward for info leading to arrest, and when an offender was found, he was given a £5 fine, a massive amount in the 18th century, and spent 2 years in prison. These heads were iconic in London, and you see many images like this one, and you can see the heads right there spiked. Thomas More obviously fell foul of Henry VIII. He was executed. His daughter, Margaret Roper, actually watched her father's head on London Bridge, and when it was taken down a month later to be discarded, she bribed the executioner to have it back. She was actually called into the Privy Council. Henry VIII was not happy about this, and they accused her of keeping a sacred relic, which does not go down well in Tudor England. Now, she defended herself and was allowed to keep the head, and after death it was interred in the Roper family vault in Dunstan Church in Canterbury. But where some heads were revered and kept, some were defaced. Now, this mainly happened to Catholic martyrs, so priests George Nichols and Richard Naxley were executed in 1589, and then members of the crowd hacked at their remains with knives. 8 years later, the face of Franciscan John Jones was blackened with powder, and the head of Hugh Green was used as a football with sticks poked into the eyes, ears and nose. And it wasn't just heads that we liked to display here in England. Actually, other body parts would be sent to different cities just so you can spread the message. So this happened to William Wallace of Mel Gibson fame. So watchmen would patrol the city walls and protect these body parts because families would try and steal them back. So being keeper of the heads was a difficult job. And do check out my YouTube channel if you're a weirdo who likes this kind of content. I actually make these videos for myself because I am myself pretty dark and weird.